Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Today's Deen Talk is going to focus on disability in Islam. And then, inshallah, I'm also going to post up a video tonight on disability and illness during Ramadan, since Ramadan starts tomorrow. So I really wanted to do this video because, a year ago when I reverted to Islam, I was already using a cane and having difficulty walking and things like this. And so it was difficult and confusing for me because as my physical health got worse, it became difficult for me to pray standing, and I was finding all kinds of conflicting information on what you're supposed to do. And so, finally I went and I talked with my imam, alhamdulillah, and he cleared some things up. But the issue is that so many scholars, there's just different answers for everything. So I wanted to do a video just so that way people know about this issue more, inshallah, and that the information is more well known even to able-bodied Muslims, so they can help their friends. So one of the first things that you worry about when you're physically disabled is praying Salat. So if you're able to pray standing, then obviously you should pray standing. But if you are in pain all of the time, maybe you use a cane or a walker, or maybe you have fibromyalgia like I do, and it's extremely exhausting to stand, then you are able to pray sitting. Now, some sources say that you should pray in the kneeling position before when you go down into sujood. But I've also found that can be extremely difficult and hard on the body. Since I have difficulty walking and it's my hips and my lower back, I can't pray kneeling on the ground and going into sujood, because then I still can't get back up in order to get back to the kneeling position, and then it's extremely difficult for me to stand afterward. So you are permitted to pray sitting in a chair, and it's very easy. All you do is, normally when you're supposed to be standing but you're sitting in the chair, you cross your arms like normal, and then when you're supposed to go into ruku, you lean forward maybe half of the amount you can go. And then when you're supposed to be in sujood, you go as far down as you can. And your hands just remain on your thighs when you're doing ruku and sujood. So, if you can't bend down all of the way while you're sitting, that's perfectly okay. Just go as far as is comfortable and not painful for you. And inshallah, it will be okay. It will be accepted. So what has been really difficult for me, I got one of my surgeries a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed that praying sitting was too difficult for me to do. It caused pain for me to even lean a little bit forward. And if you are paralyzed or otherwise bedridden, you can actually pray laying down. So the way that I do it is I lay on my back, preferably facing Qibla, and whenever you're supposed to cross your arms because you're standing, I cross my arms, and then the rest of it I just lay my hands on my thighs. And then I use my eyes to kind of show where my position is in prayer. So I look up high when I'm supposed to be standing. When I'm in ruku, I look in the middle. When I'm supposed to be in sujood, I look down towards my feet. Some people say, pray laying on your side. I think that is so you can probably bend if you're able. I'm not able to do that, so I lay on my back. And then also, if you can't pray by moving your eyes, or if you have some other sort of extenuating circumstance, my imam told me that you can also pray using your finger. So this is standing, this is ruku, this is sujood. Standing, ruku, sujood. So, inshallah, this will help people to be able to pray, because Salah is incumbent upon every Muslim that is able to do it. And alhamdulillah, we've been given so many ways to be able to do it if we're unable to stand. Now, my next concern that I had when I was speaking with my imam is there are times, and definitely, right now when I'm recovering from surgery, I'm unable to do it. But there are times where I'm unable to stand well enough or long enough without pain in order to make wudu. So he, and then also some other scholars that I've discussed with, explain that you can make tayammum. So what tayammum is you take something from the earth, you put it on your hands, you rub your hands, and then you rub your face, and then you can pray. There's some differences of opinion on what counts as tayammum. So the more lenient position is that anything that comes from the earth, so a rock, wood, stone, grass, all of these things count as tayammum. So if you were outside and you had no water, even if you weren't disabled, you can make tayammum to pray. Now, the more conservative opinion is that it has to be a rock or like sand or dirt where you touch it, and then there's some residue on your hands, then you have to get it off of your hands, and then your hands, and then your face. So I just wanted to show what I use personally for tayammum whenever I pray, since many times I, even before my surgery, was unable to get out of bed, for instance during Fajr, in order to make wudu because it's just too painful for me to do so, or I was unable to walk. So this is what I use. Now this is actually a stone humidifier, where you just you put water in the bowl, and it is a natural humidifier for your room. So I started using that because I can touch it and I can feel a sort of residue on my hands. And so then I know personally that I have effectively made tayammum to the best of my ability. So that's really it, guys. When it comes to other forms of disability and prayer, there are some things. So I want to touch on the subject of dogs, which that'll be a whole nother video. But so if someone is blind or needs a support dog for PTSD or for walking or things like that, to remind them to take their medicine, dogs are not haram, first off. And I will get into that in a different video. They are, according to certain madhabs, considered to have najis in their saliva. However, there's no issue in taking a dog to a mosque. I would, no matter what, always consult your imam, because they may not want the dog to come in just because it could be problematic. But if it's a support dog, then the dog should be well trained and able to sit inside and not bark or do anything to be distracting during prayer. There is a hadith that says that the Prophet ﷺ would pray in the masjid, and because then the masjid was open air, it was outside, and there would be dogs playing nearby, still in the same area of the masjid. So, inshallah, this helps people that have, seeing eye dogs or support dogs of some sort, because I've seen some people be told that they have to leave their support dog outside, which not only can be dangerous for the person needing the support dog, but if it is very hot or very cold, it can be dangerous for the dog. Not to mention, no one is then watching the dog to make sure it doesn't get taken. So that's on support dogs. And then on walking aids, I have been informed that walking aids and wheelchairs are permitted inside the masjid on the floors. It does not count as bringing in something potentially najis, like how we have to take off our shoes just in case. So that is fine as well. So inshallah, this is just a really basic video. If anybody has more questions, I will do my best to answer them in the comments. And if you have any videos or ideas that you would like to see me talk about on Deen Talk, then please let me know. Inshallah, I will get to everyone's requests in time. Alright, Jazakumullahu khairan, and I hope you all have a blessed Ramadan. Thank you.